Ahzab, and they wanted to come and obliterate and eliminate Medina. When you see an army coming on up to about 20,000, and you, the men in your city, fighters, you are not more than around 3,000, what is your hope? What do you do? And the Prophet was discussing this with his companions. This is a big problem. Then a Sahabi who came from another urf, another culture, Salman al-Farisi, he was a Persian. He said, in our own culture, we have a strategy. The Prophet didn't say, oh, this is all kufr. No. Why? It was a good cultural practice that had a maslaha, public interest benefit. And it didn't contradict the Sharia. And what was that system? He said, we just build one big hole, big gutter, a trench, handak, round the place we want to protect, so deep, horses cannot just run through. When the Quraysh came, they had never seen anything like it before. Why? It didn't belong to their urf. So they didn't come prepared or have any ideas of how to cross this kind of big gutter. Should they have come with ladders from wherever? Should they make bridges? They didn't know what to do. And so as we move as Muslims, let us be careful that we do not force people to commit cultural apostasy, to abandon their own culture when it is actually good from the Islamic point of view, just because of our own kabilanchi. We have created problems for our brothers in Igbo area. So much so that when they become Muslim, people are not looking at it as you are changing religion. No, they look at it as you are changing tribe. You are becoming Hausa. Why? Because we insist the person should change his name. We insist he should go and look for a hat like this. We insist he should start wearing kaftan. And that is why when honorable gentlemen like Eze Abdul Fattah comes in his own urf dressing with pride, this is what the face of Islam is going to be if it is to spread in Igbo area. But so long as you insist it must go with your culture, you will slow the religion down because of your own ethnic nepotism. And so we find, if we don't learn to tolerate ethnic diversity, but to go beyond tolerance. You know, tolerance is a little, in one sense, is a little like just managing. I will accommodate you. I don't like you, but I will manage. I'm just tolerating you. That's one way of looking at tolerance. What Islam asks us to do is to also go beyond tolerance in many cases. Not just I tolerate, but I respect. Not just I respect, but I appreciate and validate. That it should not be the Igbo or the Yoruba or somebody from another tribe that is there to protect his own tribe. No, you help him protect his own tribe. Why? Because Allah is the one that created us into nations and tribes. And the Prophet said even the Arab is not superior to the non-Arab. Even the Prophet said so. You know, kullukum min Adam. We are all from Adam, and ultimately Adam is from dust. When we look at tolerance, even from the side of religious diversity, there's a question I have not yet been able to answer personally. I want to research on this topic. And the question is, the number of Muslims who have fought with Muslims, the number of Muslims that have been killed by other Muslims, is it more or is it less than the number of Muslims who have been killed by non-Muslims? I don't know the answer. But if I'm to go by the news of what is happening every month somewhere in the Muslim world, I hear Muslim killing Muslim. If I look in my lifetime, yes, there's been a lot of Muslims killing Christians and vice versa. But if you look carefully, you'll find a lot of that is tied to ethnicity. You find a lot of it is tied to indigent settler issues. But when I look at something like Boko Haram, and you say, yes, we don't like to admit it, but they are Muslims. Extremist, Hawarij-like, call them anything you want, you'll say, yes, they are Muslims. Have Muslims in the north been killed by anybody more than fellow Muslims? Ask Sunni and Shia the world around, who has killed you more? They'll just point to each other. And yes, I know we've had killings by the Crusades, but how many people were killed by the Crusades? 1 to 3 million. It's a lot. But throughout history, how many Muslims have killed other Muslims? And so while interfaith, bridge building, relations, tolerance is important, within the religion is equally important, and probably even more important. When we look within a faith, actually if you look at the differences in religion, and you see Allah saying in Surah Al-Ma'idah and a number of other places, وَلَوْ جَاءَ رَبُّكَ لَجَعَلَكُمْ أُمَّةً وَاحِدًا. If Allah had willed, if your Lord had willed, He would have made you all one. He chose not to do it like that, which means He has wisdom. Why? Because everything Allah does is with wisdom. And I sometimes wonder, if Allah had made us all one religion, would we stop fighting? I doubt. In fact, in some societies, some Muslim groups are more ready to invite a non-Muslim for iftar than another Muslim. Some Muslims are ready to sit at the table for interfaith bridge building than to sit at a table with another Muslim. We can go to Hajj together, but that's where it stops. It's as if dondoli. When we come back, we carry on. Fighting, takfir, you name it. As if the things we have in common are not enough to keep us together. When we look within the religion and we look at a subject like fiqh, would it be better if we only had the fiqh of Imam Malik? Would it be better if we didn't have Shafi, and we didn't have Hanafi, and we didn't have Maliki, and all the scholars of the past that differed, Zahiri and Thawri and Jariri and all the ones that are no more even around, some are just in books? Would we have been better if we only had one madhab? Some would like to say yes, but ask a scholar. Every madhab in one society or the other will jam a problem that it cannot solve. And they will have to go to another madhab that has solved that problem and borrow that solution to meet the maqasid or the objectives of Sharia. That is called in fiqh talfiq. It's where a scholar will go out of his madhab and take the ruling of another madhab, an answer that was developed by another form of usul al-fiqh. Why? because it meets the objectives of Sharia more effectively and accurately than the positions within a madhab. And so even though we are Maliki predominantly in West Africa and most of North Africa, Libya all the way to Morocco, Senegal, Mauritania, we are all Maliki from Sudan. When it comes to Islamic finance, we are nearly 90% Hanafi. Ask anybody who has gone and really studied Islamic finance. He will tell you most of Islamic finance is Hanafi. But even in Islamic finance, the Shafi, the Hanafi, the Hanbali don't have anything like takaful, insurance. Now they have, but that is something they got from Maliki. When any society wants to do legal reform, to improve the rights of women in their contract in marriage, that women want to reform the marital contract to be more egalitarian, more equitable. Why? Because sometimes, because Sharia tolerates urf, and in many cases al-ada muhakkama, ulama have absorbed parts of culture as something that is okay Islamically. But then culture changes, and we are told as culture changes, the fatwas will change. And in many societies, women would want more fair, just, equitable terms that the urf or custom that Sharia has so far absorbed does not meet. They would want something better. When they want to look at marriage contract, most legal reforms in the world go to the Hanbali school. In Hanbali society and Shafi and Hanafi, if a husband is being abusive to his wife and the wife wants a divorce and the husband says, I will not divorce you, wallahi, she's in trouble. In the Hanafi, Shafi and Hanbali school, if the woman wants a divorce and the husband says no, she has big difficulty. And so you find in Pakistan, in most of these countries, when they want to do legal reform to ensure greater fairness to women in their rights of divorce, all of them start to copy from Maliki. Because in Maliki, khulu, the woman's right to divorce is irrespective of whether the husband wants it or doesn't want it. In other words, just as the woman can say, yes, I agree to marry, she can say, no, I am going out. Just as you, the man, says, yes, I am going to marry, in talaq you can say, I am going out. So men have a right to divorce, women have a right to divorce. The only difference is methodology, the procedure. But in other schools, they are benefiting from the fact that Maliki has a different position. For asthma patients who are fasting Ramadan, you find the fatwas of the Shafi'i school most useful. Otherwise, in some other schools, they'll say you are sick, so you can't fast. Or no, you have tasted it, so it has broken your fast. The point we're making here is to learn to tolerate, accommodate, respect, and appreciate diversity. Not just we will manage it, no. That there is something in diversity, lita'arafu. Something that you should go and learn. Why? It will benefit you. Otherwise you become like Ifirigia. You just know your own, and to you, the sky is only as big as the hole above you. And you will have problems that other societies have solved, but because you do not have the humility or the curiosity to want to learn what good has Allah put in another tribe, you lose out. And we will come to how we manage our egos, because this was one problem that Allah decided to narrate to us in the Quran about a big challenge that Shaitan had. Allah has created different species of plants and animals. And among intelligent ones, He has created human beings, He has created jinn, He has created angels. Allah has created them, not for you to look down upon. And so when Allah says, وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي Adam, Allah is saying He is honoring the children of Adam. Allah honored the children of Adam. Allah regarded the children of Adam as worthy of being honored. And asked the malaika and the jinn, fasjudu li Adam, do sujood. Prostrate out of respect, not worship, out of respect for Adam. Allah says do so. Shaitan had a problem. It wasn't did Allah say so. No. But he had in his own head, ana khayrun minhu. Arrogance, pride. I am better than him. Because of that, Allah, I will not do what you are saying I should do. Why? I am better than him. The Allah that created him and the Allah that created you, the Allah that is better than all of you, says you should respect the other one. You say, I am not going to. Why? Because I believe I am better than him. And that was one of the big problems of Shaitan. But look carefully. Why is Allah telling us about a disease of the heart that applies to jinn? Because we have the same problem. We have the same attitude of ana khayrun minhu. I am better than him. My hijab is better than that hijab. My rawani is better than that rawani. The length of my trouser is better than the length of his trouser. My own way of salat is better than his own way of salat. Allah warns us, وَلَا تُزَكُوا أَنفُسُكُمْ. Be very careful about you declaring yourself pure. Let Allah be the one to judge you.
Mm-hmm.